Hey, what's up, everybody? Watching this video about Palworld. I'm actually pretty excited because I actually haven't played any of the new updates, but I keep seeing stuff about it and I just want to play it. But like, I'm stuck on Marvel Rivals and so many other really good games that have come out, and it's just like, dude, I need to play this game again. Like, I played the through the full first part, like like the launch, but I never played through the two big updates after that.
So Palworld is much better now than at launch thanks to some massive updates it got in the past few months, and most recently the Fabric update added so much in terms of new content.
Dude,
We
that thing
have a
looks so
massive new
sick.
island with tons of new biomes, new challenges, amazing new pals to collect, technologies, and so much more we're going to talk about in this video. Plus some tips and tricks because some of these may be a bit complicated at a first glance, but without further ado, let's dive right in. Now, first things first, to find the Fabric Island, you'll need to head over a bit southwest from the fishing village, right here on this side of the map. I do recommend having a fast mount with you, since this is a massive island and it takes quite a bit of while to reach the other end. But there
Well, yeah, most people who played through launch, like, were there and like beat like the game at that time should already have this mount. I forget what it's called, Dragon something.
are many biomes, cool looking caverns, and lots of content, so it's totally worth it. The first thing I recommend doing here is to
Yeah, Jet
immediately
Dragon.
set up a Hexolite Quartz farm, as this is one of the new high-end resources that you're going to funnel in some of the new technologies added
shooting
with the
it.
Fabric Island. So what I recommend doing is
Bruh, how to flex that you have money, shooting the gemstone and being like, yeah, bro, I don't care if it cost me bullets, bruh. Like,
heading
what
over
the
right
hell?
here on this side of the map at minus 1060 and minus 1428. This spot will feature 3 of those Hexolite crystals very close to one another, so you can set up an automated farm so that it
That rock
constantly
launcher looks
collects
sick.
them. Right now, I pretty much exhausted all of them, but they are right here very
laser
close to
gun?
this NPC, and you're going to get hundreds of them from just the 3 crystals. The other important resource is going to be chromite, which you can only get via metal detection, so either craft the metal detector at level 56 or find a pal that has a metal detection ability. And from that point on, head over into any of these larger new caves added in the Fabric Island. You can either go at ones that feature bosses, like the one where you find Kitsune Noct, or the one right here that features Splatterina. There's actually a much better one that's also empty at minus 917, minus 1318. So this one is going to be empty and features 4 of these deposits that you can mine right away. In the process, you should get anywhere between 3 to 400 very easily, and this also respawns, by the way. Once you're done with all of that, the next thing I highly recommend doing is to immediately unlock the level 15 PAL expedition station, as this is now going to let you send your own PALs into missions, at the end of which you're going to get some very important valuables.
Oh,
And you
that's cool. So they added the feature for anyone that's played V Rising. You can send your vampire army to go do shit for you. Like, that's literally what this is, bro. They literally said, "Hey guys, we're just gonna add that from V Rising. Yoink. That was a really cool system. Bye."
can pretty much see which expeditions are available
sick,
right
though.
here from the screen. You're going to unlock more of them by defeating the tower bosses, both on the normal and the hardcore difficulty. And they will give you different rewards. The higher the risk, the higher the rewards are going to be. For example, I defeated the final boss in the Fabric Island on the hardcore difficulty, and this unlocked this expedition right here, which is the best for summoning fragments, especially if you want to summon the new Xenolord. But there's others in there if you want Pal Souls, if you want ammo boxes, if you want crafting materials, pretty much everything else in between. There's going to be a version that you can go ahead and farm for. For this, you're going to want to assign your pals properly, not only to reduce the timer as much as possible, all the way down to like 9-10 minutes at max, but also get 100% of the rewards. So for that, you're going to both need to exceed the total firepower,
Oh my God, they
as
got
well as
mushroom
match
heads.
the number of the category of pals required right here. So in this case, it says ground, which means I'm going to have to feature at least 20 ground pals in the dispatch screen for this to be 100% successful. In this case, you can also use the auto assign, especially if you have a large selection of very strong pals from every category. About 99% of the time, it already does a solid
Bro,
job
that's so
for
cool.
you.
Look at
But
the
if you
floppy
don't, I
fish.
recommend assigning them properly and also catching more pals, leveling them up, increasing their basic stats, aiming for high IVs, so on and so forth. This is going to help them increasing that total firepower so that you can always get all the rewards out of them. The other tech I recommend unlocking right away is the PAL Labor Research Laboratory, newly added with the Fabric update. This is going to let you get multiple passive bonuses for anything from handiwork all the way to medicine production.
Oh, that's
Not only
sick.
is this going to apply to every single one of your bases, you can also literally unlock every single one of these bonuses eventually.
Bro, I don't think people understand how much this changes Palworld, because I always wanted them to add like some kind of like skill tree for the pals. Like, I know it would take them a long time. That's why Pokemon doesn't do it, because there's so many pals. Or even just for the legendary ones, I think that would be cool. But it's like this kind of like bridges the gap, because now you can like you have like a skill tree station. Even if it is just labor focused, that means they could add something like that in the future for the pals themselves. Because I know they have the devil fruit, but it's just not the same. Like, I think this is really cool. Like, this is just like, this changes the way your base is going to work. This changes how proficient, and like for people that did this, like I think a lot of people did this, at least streamers. I know I did this, where you like make like multiple bases and then each of them have their own goal. Like, you have your, you know, base that's mainly focusing on mining, your main base usually just focusing on handiwork and like doing all this other stuff. And then you have this other base that is like focused on, you know, like, I don't know, I can't think of another one that would be a really important resource right now, but I just know like before it was like mining and like getting your handiwork up was like the most important thing. So I just think that this combo is actually going to be really interesting to actually play the game again, because I feel like it's going to make it like where you can be more proficient in mining and not like have it be so like slow like later on, because like I know it gets fast because you have the pals that are doing it, but it's like it's still slower than it should be, like, because sometimes the pal AI just doesn't work as efficiently as you'd like it to, if you get what I'm saying.
Unlock every single one of these bonuses eventually. So you can get pretty much bonuses to extractions, to resource production, to energy generation, even like item decay and power to your pals inside of the bases. Everything over here is extremely useful. But for that, you're going to need a pal with good enough workload. That is why whenever you assign one to any of these categories, you're going to want to also make sure that the pal matches them. So just to give you an example, I want to research mining because of these passive nodes right here that give me a bonus to oil production. So for that, I'm going to use a Blazimet, which has by default the highest level into mining. However, I'm doing a couple of extra things on top because
sick,
my
dude.
Blazimet is rank 4. So this means his mining level is actually level
Dude,
5,
it looks like a
which
freaking
already
Wukong
makes him
boss.
much
Wukong
faster
boss,
in
bro.
terms of workload for this specific action. And on top of that, I'm also using passives like the Artisan, Serious, or even the new Remarkable Craftsman, which is going to increase that work speed even more. So this means I can research all of these bonuses
Bro,
much
Tail
sooner
doing
because the
that?
workload gets completed much faster. The same goes for generating electricity or any of these categories right here. You're going to want to put your best pal at it unless you want to wait for too long for that to happen. But since we talked about pals and abilities, let me show you how you can breed one of the best new pal bosses very early on. You only need an Anubis and a Frostallion, and you can breed a Bastigor, a new ice pal that has one of the
Thing
best
looks
abilities
sick.
in the game called the Glacial Impact. This is a
Bro,
high
just freezes
AoE,
him.
high damage ability that smashes into the ground, instantly freezes all enemies
So
in
he
a
just
large
spams
area
it?
before it shatters them for some very high damage.
That's
All the
crazy.
breeding principles up until now still apply, so have parents with high IVs as close as possible to 100 if you can. Also make sure that you have all of the desirable passive skills on them. So in my case, I had the old combination between Legend, Burly Body, Muscle Head, and Ferocious. This is no longer the best, but it's the next best thing. It's still a very strong option of passives, but there are much stronger rainbow quality that were added with the new Fabric update, like the Demon God and even the new Vampiric, which is
Dude, Demon
insane
God
to
sounds
pretty much
sick.
make your pals almost invincible. But in the meantime, I do have other options here, like Xenolord, the new summonable boss, will give you the new eggs, which you can then hatch and try your luck to craft after hundreds and hundreds of options to get one that has some of the combinations of the passives I just talked about. Or if you want some really cool, interesting new ones, there are some of them. I really like Omaskul, which has the Soul Drain. This is a very unique ability because it literally grabs the enemy and, yeah, just drains the energy out of them. So it's a very awesome one if you just want to keep the enemies at bay for a while.
So cool.
I also really like Splatterina. Very easy to actually get with some of these options right
here.
Like
Yandere,
since one of the parents already dropped with some of them. So Vampiric was a lucky drop, but the other ones you can pretty much crossbreed from other uniques that you got in the previous updates. That being said, here's the new Rainbow passive skill quality. Some of the old skills actually have been promoted to the new Rainbow qualities, such as the Legend and also Lucky. But there's also completely new ones like the Demon God, which is one of the new Bastion slots, 30% extra to attack and also 5% to defenses. This is random, by the way, so it can both be acquired when you capture pals randomly, but you can also get them via breeding. Again, it's a very, very rare occurrence, so just keep that in mind. Diamond Body is also very strong. It's like the best version of the Burly Body. And what I really like is Vampiric. This is like pretty much all random as well, but this lets you like regenerate a portion of the damage that you deal. I'm talking about the Pal over here. So the Pal is the one that does the regeneration. So the higher the damage and attack it has, the more it can actually heal, which means it can literally sustain itself almost indefinitely. But there's others in here too that can help.
He didn't bring up the fact that also if it's like a worker pal, you can literally just not sleep. Like the pal doesn't have to sleep, it continues to work at night. Like I read that, like that's crazy. So not only do you get a strong like attack and like a strong like attack pal, you also get one that can just continuously work through the night and doesn't need to sleep. Like that's sick.
Remarkable craftsmanship. This is like the best work speed that you can have at plus 75%. However, some of the others are pretty good too. Invader, which comes by default on Xenolord, gives you 30% to dark and to dragon attack damage, so you're always going to have and want that. Anyway, there's lots more new content, including in the open world. So one of them is going to be these bounties for humanoids you can find all across the map to any level pretty much. But if you defeat them for the first time, they will always give you one ancient technology point. So that is a quick way to get some of those points and unlock some of the new tag added to level 60. But besides that, they also drop successful bounty tokens every single time you take them down. And with these, you can head over into any major city or town and exchange them at a vigilante bounty officer. Initially, I recommend spending these on the ancient Pal manuscripts. Yes, they drop in high abundance, but you will definitely need even more than you think, especially if you craft a lot of the new recipes. So try to buy those at first, and then maybe later on you can spend them on some of the life and other stat fruits for your pals. Speaking of ancient tech, go ahead, unlock and craft all of the pouches from the small all the way to the giant quality one. These can stack with one another and they will unlock 2 extra rows of inventory slots.
They're literally copying B Rising, bro. They're adding all the pouches, bro. They're adding all of them. Oh my god. That's crazy. Bro, can this video fucking play?
So that's 12 inventory slots in total. But do keep in mind that you cannot stack duplicates of the same pouch with one another. Only one of them will count. This is just something that I found out a little bit too late. Other items over here include the Meow Mirror. This is the Terraria collab. It's a very strong sword actually that comes with 200 attack. It's also very strong because it doesn't just deal melee damage, but it also shoots some of these rainbow cats out of it. So these projectiles actually hit and bounce enemies multiple times, which can quickly stack up. In some of this footage, I believe I had 5x player damage turned on, but even on the default 1x setting is still very good. I typically use this to make quick work of bosses or when
I'm sorry, but Pokemon enjoyers, like, you cannot tell me pals do not look cooler. Like, they just look so badass.
I don't want to instantly one-shot them, but still capture them. It's a very useful tool. Very good sustain, very high damage, so through and through, it's very awesome to play with. Just keep in mind that the bounces can go for a very long time, so they will actually hit quite a lot of enemies. There's also new
Ooh.
sphere modules with different effects. They will all increase the chances for you to capture pals depending on how high the quality of them is, starting with the ones at level 11, and then every 10 to 15 levels you're going to find a new module. So some of them will give you some of those extra chances to capture the pals, others will make the spheres curve as you throw them, others will let you throw them from much further away like the sniper module, but the one I like the most is the homing module, because this is going to auto track to your target. It's not going to let you do criticals against the head, for example, but it's very useful if you want to spam capture a target that's very low chance to capture, because you can literally throw another sphere while the previous sphere still holds the pal inside, so that the moment it exits the previous sphere, the next one will immediately capture it again. So you can pretty much
really good
throw
for
like
the
2 or
flying
3 of
ones.
these, and at the end of it you're going to eventually capture that, but it may consume a lot of your spheres, so do keep that in mind. Other new technologies include the new double air dash boots and the triple jump boots. Now, these are going to be separate from one another. I kind of wish they were all into one package at the higher level version. Maybe a legendary version of this could combine both functionalities, because right now you have to occupy 2 of your accessory slots to have these equipped. Now, I'm not going to lie, they are very useful at traversal, especially when you're trying to
Yeah, that
jump
should
over
just be
like
one
high
boot.
obstacles. Maybe you don't have a flying NPC or pal at your disposal right now. It can be very useful for that, or pulling off a few of these moving trick shots, but otherwise they are not as useful as I thought they would be. I mean, especially the double air dash could have definitely be more useful if it covered a bit more distance. Right now I think that it's way too short and it
Yeah,
doesn't
how are you
feel as
gonna
strong as I
dodge?
wanted it to be.
How are you gonna dodge half of the attacks in the game, bro? Like, they're like this big, and bro's dashing this much. Like, he still gets hit by half the freaking strike. Like, what?
But it can be useful, for example, in combat, as you can air dash, dodge out of the way, if that makes any sense. Outside of that, it's just useful at, yeah, traversal, like I said, and I kind of wish there were a way for this to be condensed into one single item. Now, in terms of defeating Xenoloord, some of the old boss tactics
he's a big
still
boy.
work. The ultra difficulty has 2 million HP, mind you, so using the Gobfin rank 4 and the Frostallion rank 4 works really great over here, so you can massively boost the player attack power as possible. Also, invest some points into attack power, plus use the hamburger. In my case, I got about 500 attack power, which I believe translates to about 500% extra damage. In terms of the weapons, you can also use the old rocket launcher legendary quality, but I believe that the new plasma cannon is a bit better. Even though it does have lower base attack, it shoots twice per recharge, so you can easily deal 100k damage in one single recharge if you're doing headshots. Besides this, I recommend having your pals with vampiric traits, and you can use like ice, a lot of Frostallions with vampiric if you can transfer that to them, or anything that can sustain their HP on the onslaught that happens on the ultra difficulty. On ultra, the raid has 2 million HP, plus it spawns a lot of ads, so you do have to be careful about that. Maybe using some of the new revive potions you can craft at about level 58 can be helpful over here if your Frostallion dies for some reason.
Bro, how's this
but
guy,
even
like,
so,
taking
if you just
so
use
little
the
damage?
cannon with 500 attack, in this case, I think you should be able to take down the ultra raid
Like, this is
with
a
about
Dark
1
Souls
minute
boss
remaining
battle,
on your
bro.
timer if you're doing 20k plus to the headshot every single time. Do that and you should get all the new goodies, and everything should be much easier for you. And that is pretty much it.
Oh,
Let
that's
me know
sick,
down
he gets
below
a little
if you
head.
are playing in the new Fabric.
Bro, see, Pokemon could never. You could never wear the head of your enemy, bro. Oh my god. Okay, guys. Please like and subscribe to Craze Gaming. He's a really good YouTuber. Really good informative content. Jesus, if I could speak English. Please like and subscribe to him. And then also tell me in the comments what you guys think about the new Palworld update. I'm actually really excited to play it again. I'm gonna try to play it within this month, but things have been hectic, but hopefully I can. It looks really fun. At some point I'll play it, if not this month. Tell me what you guys think. Please like and subscribe to me. See you guys down in the comments. See you guys next time. Peace.